Okay, thanks for letting me know. Sometimes OBS resets the default option for a microphone. I don't know why. But hello! Thanks for letting me know because it's always very annoying when it happens. So, we are back on Katawa Shoujo, and last time we got on a unfortunate situation with Hanako. Since we can continue. Without Lily, she closed herself inside her room. She seems to cry, she doesn't want to do anything. She just stays there. So it's our job to bring her morale back without Lily, okay? It's our job. We don't go we don't stop the stream until we help her, okay? Kinda. If necessary I could stop, but just to say. Let's continue until we help her, okay? How is my dashboard? Why don't I see the streaming? Okay, nice. Okay. So this is a new day. Everything is on... Okay, nice. Once again, Hanako doesn't turn up for class. Try as I might to concentrate on other matters, this fact continues to distract me through the entire school day. And even as I walk through the school gardens to the dormitories. I'm always... I don't know, I always appreciate how true is written with too many letters. Ah, true, yeah, how it's written. Ah, throw goat. Imagine a non-English speaker, or I'm not really an English speaker, I try at least, but imagine someone who starts to learn English and they find this word true, and they read it like, throw goat. At least in Italian would be read as throw goat. Like Q, right? I don't think today being her birthday is a coincidence either. I don't know the link between the two events though, nor do I have any idea on what she's feeling. Were it physical pain, I could at least provide some limited comfort. With something like this though, I have no idea where to start. I run the people I know through my head, thinking about whether they could help. Shizune and Misha don't know that much about Hanako, and what little they do know, they can't tell me. Same for the nurse. You can call Lily. We can get her words of wisdom. In the end, there's only one person that knows Hanako well and would be willing to tell me anything. Yeah, of course. Entering my dormitory room, I notice something that takes me off guard. It's starting to feel familiar. With everything that's going around me, I'm thankful that this room started to finally be somewhere I can relax a little. When I first entered Yamaku, it felt immediately foreign in every way, from the untouched neatness to the way it smelled. Focusing back on the task at hand, I threw my bag onto the bed as I opened the top drawer of my desk. Before she left, Lily told me the number to call while in Scotland, and I wrote it down. In hindsight, I wondered if she knew something like this could happen. Now that she's out of reach, I realize just how much both Hanako and I have relied on her for guidance. Well, here it's more like I don't know Hanako as much as her. I dig around drawer after drawer, looking for that damn piece of paper. Don't you save it on your phone? Eventually, thankfully, I find it nestled under a borrowed library book. Library look. I should have just entered it directly into my cell phone. Yeah, you're stupid! Come to think of it. Without further ado, I entered the numbers and anxiously pressed the call button. Eventually, the phone picks up. A feminine voice I don't recognize. It's probably Lily's mother. Oh, ciao, come butta, Sato? Ah no, come butta solo casa Sato? Chi chiama? What language is that? English? Suddenly finding myself unprepared, I realize I can't understand a word she says. Either due to my limited vocabulary or her heavy accent. I should have anticipated this, since according to Lily, her mother is native Scot. I sold her on the hope that she must know some Japanese, considering it's her daughter's native language. It's Isao Nakai speaking? An enthusiastic sound of realization can be heard as she recognizes the language. My feeling of relief is immense. Oh, you must be of Lily's friend from school, correct? Even so, her accent means I have to concentrate to work out what she's saying. Yeah, right. Pleased to speak to you, Miss Sato. Nice to offer to find someone so polite. Lily dear, it's for you. Her mother seems nice, if a little over-enthusiastic, given the mundane situation. Yeah, it's like mine. There's a small silence as Lily takes her time getting to the phone. In the distance, I can just make out her mother scolding her playfully for just getting up. Hello, Lily speaking. You sound awful. I feel like we already got this discussion though. But probably in the Lily's route. So maybe here will be different. She makes a sound somewhere between a dying animal and a yawn. Okay. The one thing I did remember to check before calling was the time zone. It would be pretty late in the morning over here, so she really has no excuse. Not feeling well? Just tired. What time is it there? Late afternoon. School finished for the day not long ago. Hanako is not well, is she? That was quick. My assumption that she must have known something like this could happen seems to have been on the mark. How did you know? Because today is her birthday. I'd hope she might have gotten at least a little better after coming to know you, but... how is she right now? She missed school today and yesterday. I still have to check up on her today. To be honest, after seeing how she was when I talked to her yesterday, I'm pretty anxious. I really have no idea what to make of it. Has this happened in the past? Is it related to her scarring in some way? Unfortunately so. Roughly the time things happened last year when her birthday came up. As far as I can tell, it's because her parents died in the accident that caused her scarring. And Hanako blames herself for their death. What she says that seems to make sense. If she's blaming herself on her birthday, she may well be ruining that she was even born. Hanako had mentioned her stay on the orphanage to me. Maybe I should take some heart that she trusts me enough to tell me such a thing. Lily, seeming so in the dark about it though, almost to the extent that I am, is a surprise. So, that's why she lives in the student dormitories as well. Has she told you any more about the accident? As close as we come, she's very barely told me anything about what happened. What I know about it is largely conjecture. She sounds depressed, almost defeated. Considering the trauma Hanako must have gone through, I really can't fault Lily for not knowing. Nevertheless, she still seems to consider it as a personal failing. Don't blame yourself, Lily, with everything she's gone through. Why is this music so good? Oh, I bet this music shed a lot of tears around the world. There's a long silence from the other end of the line. I begin to wonder if the call cut out before the voice speaks again. There is another person though, that have been a subject of worry for me as of late. Me? Or, Hisao. Oh? I ran through the people she could be talking about in my head. The only friends she seems to keep very close are Hanako and me. Though there is Akira as well. Aha! It's you, Hisao. Another silence on the line, but this time is caused by me. Making others worry about me is something I very actively try to avoid since coming to Yamaku. Indeed, even my interaction with Hanako has helped stave off any major health problem, thanks to our relaxed and slow-paced lives. What is there to worry about me? Ah, sorry, I didn't mean any offense. I was taking off guard. Still, isn't Hanako a bigger problem at the moment? For some time now I thought that the both of you might be feeding into each other more worrying habits. Huh? What are the worrying habits? Chess! I tried to amend this before leaving, but it seems to have done little. Worrying habits? When I asked you about what you had in mind for the future, your answer was very similar to what Hanako has said in the past, when the question was posed to her. Self-deprecation? But I don't think Isao is getting worse than with Hanako. Yeah, what Lily says maybe is the thing. That Isao doesn't care about the future, and staying with someone that doesn't care as well, or doesn't even consider it, doesn't give him any motivation, but I don't see it as a big issue, honestly. Is it well and good to want to protect her, but I fear that treating Hanako like this, as she were a daughter of or someone in need of special care, is only going to achieve the opposite. The situation got effectively turned on its head. After everything that happened, this is the first time I find myself doubting Lily's judgment. Ooh, we have an important choice here. So, just to see the judgment again. Oh, the Lily opinion. Treating Hanako like this, as if she were a daughter or someone in need of special care, is only going to achieve the opposite. Well, it wasn't Isao trying to... Wasn't Isao just trying to behave with her as if she didn't have any scar, was it? Though, of course, I want to help her, but it's not like because... it's not like Isao wants to help her because she needs help. But probably because Isao cares about her a lot. Maybe even loves her. But in a way, I agree with Lily, because maybe even Isao agrees with Lily, even if he doesn't know, because Isao doesn't help Hanako because she needs help, because she has trouble, but because Isao deeply cares about her. He may treat her as a daughter, but that may be the only thing that Isao didn't realize from the discussion, I feel like. So, I would definitely choose the first one. I don't want to admit it, but she may have a point. Something else bugs me though. And you tried to amend this? Wait, our outing into the city? Quite astute. I thought that it might help if I drag both of you out of Yamaku and into the wider world. I'm thankful you become closer for it though. She noticed that. I suppose she might well have been paying attention to us, and her hearing is incredibly good. Quite likely good enough to have picked up what we were talking about, if she tried. Did she hear the entire conversation? This sounds more and more like you were manipulating us. Silence. It's a harsh way of putting it, but... Oh, come on, inviting someone to go out so they socialize more is not manipulation, come on. Also, how can Lily even do the evil kind of manipulation? It's a harsh way of putting it, but I have no intention of stepping back from those words. I'm sorry, I was just worried about you. It's fine, I guess there are more important things anyway. It's not a total surprise that she'd do such a thing. Her motherly nature can be slightly overbearing at times, but she does have the best of intentions. So you think I should think about myself more instead of trying to cater to Hanako? That largely sums it up. Again, I'm sorry for not telling you this in a clearer way before going behind your back. I know I am at least as guilty of being overprotective of Hanako as you, but I fear that you are neglecting yourself in your efforts to give Hanako happiness. Do you really think Hanako will be okay? She isn't fragile as you think. Really don't. Anything really makes her... she has a lot of problems. At least she has some passions, pastimes, reading and chess. At least she goes to the library, but I wouldn't see her as not fragile. I don't know what experiences she lived through, or what feelings she has in her mind, but she managed to work her way through until now. It's my hope that giving her little space will allow her to decide what she truly wants for herself, and give her the initiative to reach out for it. Please have faith in Hanako. That's all I ask. I guess I'll think about it for a while. That's good. Being rash won't get you anywhere. I know that at times you might doubt your relationship with Hanako, but she does. She does... Lily cuts herself off. She does what? Like you? It takes a moment to reconsider her words. Please keep in mind, I wouldn't have befriended you if I hadn't thought you as a good person. You're a good friend, both to myself and Hanako. Thank you, that helps. We share some small talk to try and lighten the atmosphere, but it feels very stilted. There's a lot I don't know about really. Lily's stay in Scotland, but after such a heavy subject, I want to be alone for a bit to think. After a few minutes, we end up saying our goodbyes, and I set my phone on my desk. Compared to Hanako's situation, mine feels utterly mundane. I still have both of my parents. I had a reasonably normal childhood, and unlike many in Yamaku, my condition isn't immediately visible to the public. Then again, isn't this just an attempt to justify the way I've been acting towards her? That may well be that our pasts were like, but when it comes to the future, I still have no idea what I want to do. In school, I just concentrated each day's work, and I put off more and more things to cater to Hanako. I recall the words Mutu told me after Hanako breakdown, about the purpose of Yamaku and my education. In hindsight, it was probably trying to push exactly the same thing. Just what have I been doing in the time since my heart attack? If I ever did manage to get Hanako out of her room and to open up, what then? I look up of my dormitory window as the sun slowly sets. It's a night sight, but what I really savor is the quiet as the students return to their dormitory rooms. All I want to do now is think. I'm not sure how much time I have, but I want to work out where I go from here. And it's a new day. There is one part of chess that Hanako doesn't like. The white knight. But Hanako is the queen. Black queen because she got a little burnt down. I really hope no one finds those streams and uses them to like diss me on Twitter or something. Since talking to Lily yesterday, I wanted to try and move on from the listlessness I felt ever since coming to Yamaku. But even if I try to concentrate on the book in front of me, Hanako's empty seat at the back of the classroom looms larger than her life. Every time I start getting focused, my eyes flick over to her desk again, and my mind starts spinning. Oh, we got her! Are we still in time to change route? I forgot her name though. Once more, my eyes drift over to it, but this time my vision is blocked by a certain other classmate. Oh, hey, Mickey. Maybe you should just have lunch. I can hear your stomach growling. I don't remember the voice I gave her. I don't remember. Maybe you should just have lunch. I can hear your stomach growling from my desk. I let my head drop in disappointment. She seems to take amusement from my reaction and hops up onto my desk. Her grin as she sits on it reminds me of the Cheshire cat. Come on, why there is no root for her? So, what you working on? Some math. I have a decent handle on it, but I just wanted to revise. Oh, really? Let me see that. Before I can object, she grabs my mathematics book with her hand. She scans the page I was on, holding it open with the one hand she has, her left arm sitting uselessly on her lap. In my time here at Yamaku, I noticed that the other students have a wide range of adjustment to their disabilities, on a purely practical level. Miki is one of those who seem to have some trouble. The stump of her left arm tends to be either hanging by her side, slipped into a pocket, or otherwise put out of the way. Sometimes she has difficult time doing common tasks, which makes her visibly quite frustrated. I feel a little bad for thinking this way, but I'm thankful that Hanako and I don't have disabilities affecting our freedom of movement. Then again, if Miki's problem worsened, at least she wouldn't have a real possibility of dying. My attention? Oh, come on! That smile, that half smug face, or just that smile. Why there's no Miki root? She thumbs through a few pages, skimming their content. With such casual interest in the subject matter, it's clear by now that she won't be any help. I'm guessing you're not too interested in this stuff? Screw math! It's boring as hell! Oh well, I like her spirit. I don't share the matter because I liked math on high school, not on university. On high school. I should... I don't know, I actually also enjoy kinda explaining a bunch of things of math. If I remember them, I forgot most of the things. She puts the book back in front of me, with indifference. Her eyes move to the notebook beside it, that had been working out practice equations on. Wait, you're actually able to work that stuff out? Yeah. Wow, I never talked to a computer with legs before! Oh, come on! I just kinda enjoy it! I'm not a computer! Thanks, I think. At least I'm doing better in this than history. Think it's worth asking the librarian for help? I heard she's shooting for uni! Of course. Yeah, she's saving money for uni, yeah. Oh, Yuko? Maybe. I don't know what she wants to study though. What about you? Got anything you're thinking of doing after you graduate? Me? Nah, not really. Just enjoying it while it lasts. Well, she enjoys the moment, I see. She looks a little awkward when asked about her future, and absent-mindedly wraps her left forearm. I kind of want to ask her about it, but I don't think I know her well enough to do so. The conversation peters out. Peter out! Wait, what's peters out? To peter out, peter out. Gradually stop or disappear. Okay, first time I hear of it. Slowly losing intensity. Okay, thanks. Sorry, it's starting to die down. And I lean back on my chair, giving up on the prospect of studying. Miki notices my tired expression and looks oddly serious. Thinking about Hanako? It's that obvious. You've been glancing at her seat and you've been pretty quiet. Not too hard to connect the dots. I'm just worried about her. Yeah, I can see why you would be. She can get weird sometimes. She sounds put off, but I can't blame her. Hanako was a hard person to interact with before she warmed up to me, even with Lily around to help. I haven't known her for that long either, so some of her habits would have still be unknown to me. My face becomes troubled. If I hadn't developed feeling for her, this would be at least a little easier to deal with. I mean, no offense, she isn't the best person, I know that much. I know, I didn't take it that way. It's harder to deal with her when, well, you know, you have feelings for someone. Yeah, I can imagine that. It's hard to forget something like what happened to her during class 2. I wish she hadn't reminded me of that. She just confirmed that it was clearly noticed by others in the room as well. Come on, don't get that down. She's done this before, you just gotta wait it out. She locks herself in her room and acts like an empty husk of a person for a sizable amount of time. Ever since she entered the Yamaku, if not before then as well. And I'm not supposed to be concerned about that? Hello, Mr. Pebao. Welcome to the stream. We are playing Katawa Shoujo for quite a while now. How did you find us? Katawa Shoujo maybe? Or maybe could be RPG Maker actually. Could be RPG Maker, yeah. I'll always bet for that. I might think that, well, wait. I'm not supposed to be concerned about that? About Hanako? I might think that, but there's nothing I can do. I can't force her to come out. And she does see a therapist, so it's not like she doesn't get any help for her issues. Maybe it's natural to think that way when you're so powerless to help someone. That's just the way it is, and you just have to deal with it. Well, not really, because even if people are really looking for help, you can just offer yours, right? As I mull things over, I notice a movement out of the corner of my eye. Let me guess, Misha and Shizune. I glance to see who it is and end up doing a double take. Wait, could it be Hanako? Hanako! Sure enough, it's Hanako. She walks through the door, unless it's Misha in her costume to trick us again. She walks through the door as she would any normal school day, and begins to move towards her seat in her usual silent and humble manner. She looks at me for a moment before blushing and looking away in embarrassment, which makes me realize that I was staring at her. I feel sorry for that, but not doing it is hard after all that's happened. The girl sitting on my desk looks... Ah wait, I forgot, she was sitting on the desk. Looks at me, grinning. See, your sweetheart back again. What did I tell ya? You be quiet. It may be only meant as a joke, but she's close enough to make me quite uncomfortable. As we talk, someone calls Miki's name from the door. She jumps down from her vantage point on my desk before turning to me. Gotta go, Izao. Remember to eat sometime, will ya? Fine, I will. See you. She gives a casual salute before jogging over to the door, where a male student in gym uniform is waiting for her. Probably someone from the track and field club. Seizing the opportunity, I get up and make my way to Hanako's desk. Hello. Hi Hanako, what's up? Nothing. Maybe talking to her this soon after she came back to class was a bad move. Want to go with me and grab something from the cafeteria? I'm pretty hungry. But I thought you were studying. Studying can wait. Turning up for class after all this time must have taken some courage for Hanako. So the least I can do is stay with her. That's just the way she is, and you just have to deal with her. Is the way Miki, and probably the class as whole, views Hanako. I can do more for her though. I want to do more for her. After being distracted by Miki, I don't think I'm going to get any work done. Come on, let's go. Aww, she hesitates, but eventually gets up and joins me as we begin walking. This might be small steps for her, but the fact that she's finally out of her room of her own volition lifts a large weight off my shoulders. Oh wait, it's already the next day, we are not getting a cafeteria scene? Well, probably it's not necessary. My pen busily scrolls onto a slowly filling page of my notebook. My other hand remains on the page of a reference book I borrowed from the library, making my spot as my eyes flicker to and fro. As I work, I occasionally mark red circles or underlines onto the photocopied sheets of paper that lie on the table in front of me. Wanting a change of scenery from the library and to avoid the distraction of the classroom, I decided to make use of the Shanghai for quite some study time. It ended up being nice and quiet, as expected, and being able to get coffee while I study is a nice bonus. Okay, I personally never went to a... Did I? I don't think I ever went to any cafe to study and stuff. All the time I went to the university study room, to the students' room. Though I think it would be a good experience to try. But I would not take a coffee, I would take a brioche. Even 2, 3 of them. I recently discovered I love brioches. Croissants. Well, actually it depends. Because there was a bar that makes very good croissants. I tried another one and it wasn't as the other one, so I should just find the right bar and stick with it. Hanako may have returned to her normal self since she came out of her room, but I've done quite the opposite. Daily routine may have returned to us, but I feel as if I'm a different person. Maybe I'm not. It's only been a few days after all. Since I decided I wanted to try and get out of the rat I'd found myself in after my accident. What's a rat? A long deep track made by the repeated passage of the wheels of vehicles. Ah! Okay, yeah, like when you cut a corner in a park and then there's a new road there. Let me screenshot. But I want to change. Pa-pa-ra-pa, pa-pa-ra, wrong game. And I'm not actively working towards that goal. I'm now actively working. Or at least, I would like to think that I am. This is impossible. Brute forcing this isn't going to work. What? How do you even brute force math? Yeah, you can brute force... Yeah, okay, you can brute force an equation by trying different numbers, but if you need to solve an equation for math homeworks, you need to explain the procedure, right? What's more, I have another piece of writing I have to do after this. I fear that's going to be no easier. I look up in mild surprise to the source of the tentative voice. Yuko stands at the head of the table with damp towel in hand, clearly having taken the opportunity to clean the tables while no other patrons were around. She looks curious, her eyes as much on my work as on me. What's the matter? I was wondering, what sort of work are you having so much trouble with? Oh, just history. Huh? How do you brute force history? Sorry, how do you brute force history homeworks now? Do you have a digital question like, when did the first World War start? 1721? Wrong. Okay, 1722? And twice every year from there. A little weird to brute force that. Oh, it's just history. I'm fine with science and math, so I'm trying to get my other subject up to par. Yuko looks positively delighted at this development. I feel like I just choose the right answer on some big quiz show. No, right answer... I like the parallelism though, but it's more like the right answer on a dating sim. Even if we are not in Yuko route. There's not even one. I think I can help you with that. If you don't mind, of course. I briefly considered turning down the offer in order to not cause her too much trouble, but she looks too excited about this for me to do it. It would be mean to shoot her down like that after such a reaction. If you're willing to help, I'd really appreciate it. Aww, she claps her hands together and quickly deposits her towel on the counter, before returning and taking a seat across from me. We are being tutored by Yuko, yeah! I take my notebook off the top of the textbooks and hand it over for her to peruse. So you're studying the Edo period? You know what? Now I realize that I'm very, very lucky to not be born in Japan, because they need to study a lot of periods with those names. In Italy, we study, okay, the Roman Empire, which has least periods. Doesn't have Edo periods, Katashi period, Aduga period. We have the Roman Empire, the Sacred Roman Empire, a bunch of extra sequels, parts into it, okay, but we don't have the complex stuff of the Edo period at least. Well, I may be wrong, maybe there are Italian parts that are more complex than that, like the period of internal wars, like the Ghibellini, but honestly, I don't care that much anyway. The less history for me to study is, the better. Yeah, I'm not really much good at this though. She takes the textbooks and reads a few pages from the random section near the middle for a bit, but the aura of enthusiasm she's been radiating previously is rapidly sapping away. I guess this isn't the kind of history you were expecting? Unfortunately not. My main area is European history, especially the classical era. Sorry. Why European? Is she not Japanese? She looks a bit downcast, but as she carefully closes the book and lays it back down on the table, her face perks up again. Would you like another cup of coffee? Oh yeah, sure. I reach forward and get my book back as Yuko gets up, takes my mug and slowly walks to the counter to make another brew. As usual, she's absolutely silent as she does this. Every ounce of her concentration is focused on not tripping over or dropping the plain white mug. I take the opportunity to lay back and relax for a bit, the hum of the coffee machine filling the otherwise quiet air. It's small details like that which make me realize how much I've come to appreciate the little things in life. And it's small details like that that shows that this is a visual novel that talks about anything. The peace and quiet of the local town, the discipline and order of Yamaku, the green of the trees that were so rare in my home city, the relaxed peace at which the aging residents live their lives. Everything feels so certain. It's comforting. I can feel myself beginning to nod off when the sound of the mug comes to rest on the table grabs my attention. Seems like it arrived not a moment too soon. Yuko takes her previous seat once again as I pick myself up and bring a hand around the mug to check the temperature. It's just a little too hot to drink right away, so I blow on it a little. It's a shame you don't do history all that much. I sort of guessed you might be more into science. How so? You nearly had the science fiction section of the library already. You almost read all the science fiction section. It wasn't hard to notice. Wait. Science fiction? I wonder if there is Yeah, Steins Gate was science fiction. Chaos Head and Robotic Notes were science fiction. After Katawa Shoujo, we might start playing Chaos Child. You do have a good point. Well, what can I say? You pegged me. Huh? She what? You pegged me just about right. Yeah, doesn't help reading the full sentence. You sound like you really take an interest in history though. Especially considering how specific you were about it. Did you study in that area or something? Go on digs overseas? She giggles nervously at the thought. I'd like to visit the Mediterranean sometime and see the old architecture and art for myself, but I don't think I could trust myself to handle such delicate things. I'm saving up to formally study in university, although I also read up on it whatever I have free time outside of work. So Miku was right about her university aspirations. Considering how she fares as a waitress, a more theoretical path might suit Yuko better. It's nice to hear that she has some ambition though, considering how hard she works. I nod and take a careful sip of my coffee. By now it's cooled to the right temperature, so I begin to drink while keeping an eye on the book below, trying to read at the same time. A few minutes pass quietly, Yuko looking out the window and watching the world go. The world go by, while I have my coffee and study. A movement catches my eye, and I look up to see Yuko smiling and waving to someone outside. Following her gaze surprisingly reveals to be someone to be Hanako. What a surprise indeed! She's looking at us from the side of the street across from where we are. Her usually all too visible timidity is largely absent, probably thanks to there being so few people around right now. Evidently she decides to join us, and as after a little wave, she gives a quick glance up and down the street, and crosses towards the side that the cafe is on, and then a camion passes by. No, I'm sorry. Isekai moment. Wouldn't that be an interesting concept for Isekai? Like, I got killed and I ended up in another world and I have the highest charisma stat, but I'm super shy and I cannot use it. The title of the Isekai. What do you think? Could it be an interesting concept? Hanako enters and makes her way to the table we are sitting at. Hey, hello. Good afternoon. Hi Hanako, what's up? Nothing. Just going for a walk since the weather was nice. Yeah, I get what you mean. I'm glad I decided to study here instead of the library. It's comfortable in here, thanks to that. Better than the sometimes quite stuffy library. I look to Yuko and nods in response. It's nice. A shame that summer can't last forever. No, okay, no. You watch out what you say. Summer is hot, okay? You take out a shirt, still hot. You go naked, still hot. Winter is good. Oh, you can use the, how it's called? You can use the big bed sheet. I just sleep way better with a very thick bed sheet. Now I have a very thin one and it's not the same thing at all. Not hot enough. It's cold, my fingers are cold, it's almost June. Why isn't it hot yet? You will regret saying that. I think here it's perfectly fine. Oh wait, sorry, would you like a drink? Hanako shakes her head. Thankfully, it's enough to calm Yuko back down. Are you going with the study? Okay, ish. Oh yeah, I haven't talked with the lady. I'm interested too. How is she doing? She is enjoying it, I think. I think that's all we're going to get out of her. Being around Yuko is tensing her up. Would be nice to travel to Scotland. Green fields, castles, lovely small towns, men in cults. She loves men in cults, maybe. Interesting history. I can't say I see the appeal of men in cults myself. It does seem like a picturesque place, though. No, Hanako, calm down. Hanako is just like my cat. If I move too loudly or if I close a door too loudly, she gets immediately scared. As we walk, the jingle of the doorbell rings again. Hanako is startled, noticing Yuko's panicked expression at the prospect that she might leave customers to wait a handful of seconds, due to her chatter with us. Yuko gives a quick bow, then hastily skitters over and greets the new customers, an elderly man and his wife. I watch her for a bit, craning my head around to get a good view. Hanako is staring at me with her one visible eye. She advanced her head in embarrassment as I turn to make eye contact. I was just thinking that it's nice to have ambitions for the future. Yuko was telling me a little about her university aspirations before. Oh. It's a shame. If she wasn't so neurotic and overworked, I think she could be a really happy person. As much as I'd like to play host to Hanako and entertain her a bit, I do need to study as well. To be honest, I don't think the distraction from Yuko helped either. Sorry if I'm a bit distracted, I need to try and get this done, otherwise I'm going to flunk the history exam pretty hard. I'm left ranking... Okay, you know what? School marks at history are temporary, wives are eternal, so maybe it's not the right choice now. I'm left running my hand through my hair in frustration. The letter needs doing as well. Once I get back to my dormitory room. I hope I have more luck with that than this, damn. What with? Oh, I was going to write to Hanako. Right now though, this is more important. All I've done is rattle myself. I can focus on the work in front of me when my stomach is slowly turning at the prospect of actually attempting to write her back, after all this time. I force myself to concentrate on the book, picking my pen once I have a quick sip of the coffee. After a few seconds, Hanako stops silently watching me and leans back in her seat, relaxing as much as she ever seems to be able to, looking out the window to pass the time. We stay like this for a long time before leaving for the dormitory together. I'm surprised she had the patience to wait me out. Yeah, because it's love! Hanako's letters lies on my desk, beside a blank sheet of lined paper and an unused envelope. The tapping of my pen is the only thing to be heard this late at night. As I feared, my second task for the day turns out to be just as difficult as the first, if not harder. Yeah, I kinda get the feeling I am always struggle when I need to give some answers that are not really instantaneous, like, oh yeah, we can do it, or yeah, tomorrow, or what's happening. No, that's why I'm kinda struggling to make the reviews for the games of the Game Maker Jam, because I'm pretty behind now, because I need the strength to start typing what I think, everything. I want to type it, but I don't know when to start. So I get the feeling here. It's been months since we ever saw each other. Even so, I still can remember what she looked like, what she sounded like, and what she acted like. By now though, the little details are beginning to slip away. When I first saw her letter, I barely recognized her handwriting at all. Even the pink pen she always used was forgotten, until the writing reminded me of it. I wonder why she didn't use it for the letter. She used to write everything with it. Maybe she thinks it's too immature now. Well, I think that's a good thing to ask on the letter, right? I should be thinking about myself and about what I want to communicate to her. My mind can't stop concentrating on her though. On the past we shared before it was taken away so suddenly. The bright and slightly garish decorations suit her sense of aesthetics. Picking up the letter to take a closer look at it, I give a long sigh. This is the last link binding me to the past. Iwanako didn't suddenly cease to exist when she left my hospital room for the last time. But I need this letter to remind me of that. I had all those feelings neatly fade away. I felt as if I didn't need them, that I could just begin life completely anew. It was easier that way. In the end, I suppose that was a rather naive thing to think. Sooner or later, my past would have caught up with me, one way or another. But what I'm supposed to say to her? Thank you for bringing me closure? What the letter did was end the sense of closure I'd previously felt. Try as I might, I can't write so much as a single word down on the paper in front of me. Guys, we have live action footage of me writing my thesis. Luckily it's all over, but this was the footage of me writing the thesis. Like, what do I write here? I don't want, but I have. Pure suffering. It's over, Waldorf. It's over. Take a minute to recover. Sorry, I had quite an experience. I need to take my time. Okay, I'm kinda exaggerating it a little, but I can't even think of what exactly I want to say. Putting the letter down on top of the blank sheet, I gather the materials together and file them away in my drawer. The clank the desk makes as it closes makes me momentarily tense in frustration before I get up to grab a drink from the vending machine on the first floor. I tried, but I couldn't do it. After all the time that's passed, I still don't know how to deal with Iwanako. Well, I don't think you know how to deal with women regardless. But yeah, you're a man, so I think that's pretty normal. The library, while not humming with activity, is noticeably more busy than usual. Exams are not too far away, and that's reflected in the number of students boring their noses in the textbooks around us. I've been studying quite a lot in the past few days, just like them, in hope of doing well in the exams. This also means that Hanako and I have been playing games less, so she's begun studying as well, just to fill in the time. Nevertheless, I found myself forsaken. I know what it means, but forgotten, but I want to know the pronunciation. Forsaken. Okay, it sounds forsaken. Forsaken. Okay, good to know. Wait, it is British. It's the same, okay. Who cares about the British pronunciation? Nevertheless, I found myself forsaken by her on this particular day. The textbooks in front of me has remained on the same page for quite some time. After so much reading on subjects I couldn't care less about, if not for the exams, my mind is beginning to wander. I find my eyes flicking over to where Hanako would usually be. Just like the days she wasn't in class. Her usual beanbag on the corner of the room is conspicuously unoccupied. How can something be both conspicuous and not occupied? Or how can an emptiness, how can be the unoccupation be How can be the unoccupation be conspicuous? Huh? Something that's not there. Can it be conspicuous? Let's see again, conspicuous. Yeah. Well, okay, never mind. Yeah, it's attracting notice or attention. So I would say the absence of something could attract attention, but I think it's mostly used to say something that has some presence in the room, right? That's why it felt weird. So it was here that we first really met. I tried to start a conversation with her, she got skittish, and eventually bolted from the room altogether. I probably shouldn't smile about it, but it was kind of amusing, in hindsight. Nowadays, it's more and more difficult to imagine her doing such a thing. Even with Lily gone, she's begun doing well now that she's come out of her room. I want to talk with her or at least play another game of chess. I'm tired of studying, and it's been a few days since we really done anything altogether. The question of where to find Hanako isn't particularly difficult. If she's not in the library, chances are that she's either in the tea room for some peace and quiet, or in her dormitory room. Deciding to check them in that order, I pack up my books and make my way out of the library. I stretch and give a loud groan as I walk down the hallway. Studying may be frustrating at times. At times! May! But with the progress I feel I made, there is also some sense of pride in getting it done. It's a good feeling. There isn't a sound to be heard from inside as I stand in front of the door to Hanako's room. I guess that isn't very indicative of whether she's inside or not, given how quiet she usually is. Still, she wasn't in the tea room. I try knocking lightly to make my presence known. But I'm surprised when I find the door unlocked and yielding at my touch. My door is not yielding. I confused it with unbending. Oh well. With a small creak, the door opens. At least announce your entrance! She could have been having a private moment, for whatever you know, right? With a small creak, the door opens. Looks like my suspicions were correct. Hanako is indeed here. She's sitting at a table with an open book in front of her, but pays it no heed, as she keeps looking out the window. She looks utterly oblivious to my presence. With her head thoughtfully resting on her hand, she looks calm and collected. It's a shame she can't look like this more often. Smiling a little, I walk up to the table and softly speak to her. Good evening, Hanako. Hanako's head turns a little to see me, but she's still only half here. I put a hand on the table and lower my head to better look at her face, mildly curious about what mood she's in. What's up? She gasps a little, finally acknowledging my presence in the room for the first time. Hanako is blushing really heavily. Her mouth is open just a little, as if paused mid-sentence. Most striking though is what she's doing. She's looking directly at me. Oh no, there's a slow zoom. Her eyes are pinned on my own, from such a close distance that I can almost see my reflection in them. They don't turn away, nor move at all. They're absolutely still, just looking into mine. They are dark, and give her an almost analytical air. Even when reading on subjects she has no interest in, she would appear too wrapped in her work to casual observer. She absorbs information very well, and even now, I can feel that. I feel like I'm seeing something behind those eyes that I never saw before. I don't know what it is, though. Hanako? Her lips move just a little, silently mouthing something. She looks like she's on the verge of saying something, but won't say it. But that's the way Hanako always is, on the verge of saying something, but never quite doing it. As I look intently into her eyes, I realize something. Everyone has their own thoughts, things they want to say, their own worldview. But I can't work out what Hanako wants to say, and I can't work out what she's thinking. I never been able to. It's frustrating. It feels like I don't know her at all, despite all the time we spent together. Zao. It's only now that I find myself blushing. Oh, come on, you two are blushing, confess already! I've been looking directly into Hanako's eyes for such a short distance, with absolutely no regard for her, and she's been looking into mine without shrinking away. I quickly look away while covering my face with my hand. Hanako does justice say, "Oh, they're both so adorable, come on." Another awkward silence reigns. I hate those. At first I accepted them as just being a fact of life around Hanako, but now all they feel like is affirmation of how little we are able to communicate. They're playing mirrors? Well, I don't know about it. Is that a game? I only remember one with a similar thing where we watch each other's, and the first one to blink or go away or look away loses. Some anger makes its way in the complex mixture of emotions. I want to bridge that gap between us. Friends shouldn't have to tiptoe around each other like that. I speak before I can argue myself out of what I'm going to do. My scarring isn't as bad as Hanako's, and I can't compare my life to hers. But I want to show her that she's not alone. Doing this in such a blunt manner might be the only way to get my point across. Well, yeah, actually, right, because communication is important. A good relationship could be love, could be friendship. It's hard to maintain if people is not straightforward or they just want to please the other without informing them. Hanako, I want to show you something. I take a deep breath to prepare myself. Something. Is it the letter? No, wait, maybe it's Isao's car, right? This could backfire badly, but I feel as if we've come close enough for this to be okay. I'm not going to strip naked or anything weird, I'm just going to take off my shirt. No, it's still too much for Hanako. Yeah, Hanako's eyes grow to the sides of saucers. Her face is an amusing mixture of curiosity and nervousness as she stands. It helps take the edge off my own nervousness at doing this in front of another person. Hanako, oh, what? What? Slowly, with my entire body feeling tense, I unknot my tie and begin to loose the first of the buttons. I'm trying to mentally block out Hanako to make it easier, but it's not really working. As I work my way down, I expect to hear some form of protest from her. She remains silent, though, which just makes this feel even stranger. With the last of my shirt unbuttoned, I take a breath and look at her. Hanako's gaze is fixed on my scarring, as expected, and once I know to say it's okay, she steps forward and tentatively places her hand on the vertical line running down my chest. A perfect match! The scarring on her hand, a pattern of damaged skin across the surface, contrasts with a single uniform line that makes up mine. Her hand isn't trembling at all, unlike what I predicted. This is... The scar from the surgery that followed my heart attack. The surgeon had to cut open my chest to operate on my heart. I never knew. Hanako's words are calmer and softer than usual. The soft feeling of her fingers moving from my scar to my breast makes me hesitate a little before continuing on. You're the first person to say this since I left the hospital. But why are you showing this to me? I wanted to prove to myself that I could do this. that I could accept my past and move on. I wanted to show that to you as well. She nods. From her reaction, she seems to know how difficult this is for me. More than anything, the scar represents a visible reminder of my condition. A reminder that I'm not normal anymore. That's something that until now I had tried my hardest to ignore. As the minutes tick by, Hanako's gaze linger, her eyes less focused on my scaring than before. The situation feels a bit different than it previously did, and makes me feel slightly uncomfortable. Her hand retreats, and I draw my shirt closed and begin to button it up. Her blushing face suddenly returns to its typical tense and timid state as she looks away. The room is completely silent as I fix my shirt and tie, feeling put off after such an unexpectedly intimate moment. So I guess you're not the only one that's scared. Hanako smiles a little at the joke, thankfully lightening the atmosphere a bit. Yeah, they are two different things, so I don't know how they can compare, but good joke. Thank you, Isao. I think I understand. I give a long sigh of relief. I really didn't know how she'd take it, but I'm glad everything seems to have worked. Hanako's smile only proves that further. I'm finding the path I want to follow now, the path to victory! This is the path I've chosen, citing triangle strategy, and what Hanako needs to do is to find her own. It's something I can't help her with, and it's something that she needs to overcome in order to do. It's something that she needs to overcome her past in order to do. Hanako checks her watch. It's getting late by now. Isao, would you mind sleeping here? Yeah, I'd better be going. I'd be thankful for some sleep. It's been a long day after all. Good night, Hanako. Good night. I make my way out of her room and into the hallway, remaining silent as I do. I think both of us have gone through a few emotions today. And it's a new day. Okay, yeah, we already did a lot of progress in 1 hour. The heat of the summertime sun beats down on my sweating brow. Dabbing with a handkerchief perfect. Doesn't help too much in making me any more comfortable. Giving up on the idea of getting more done today, I stop and lean against one of the overpassed fences, resting my bag on the ground. The stores in the town below Yamaku are well stocked, and not fair enough variety for me to go by. But at least on an occasional shopping trip to the city is something that can't really be avoided. I've been here a few times now. The city's layout is getting more familiar, and the nostalgia from its atmosphere is beginning to wear off. I realize I've begun to wheeze. I sound like an old man that's overexerted himself, and having to connect that to the fact that I'm the source is a bit disturbing. I put a hand on my chest and concentrate for a bit to make sure I haven't gone far enough to cause any further problems. Thankfully my heart is acting normally, there's no dull pain, and the beating is regular, albeit fast-paced. I still recover from overdoing things in this kind of heat. I hate my body. It's frustrating to be held back. Even more to be held back by fear of my life being ended. When doing something as simple as walking around the city for a while. As I ponder on my health, I feel my pocket vibrating. By the time my phone has begun to ring, my hand is already fishing for it. A glance at the screen shows a caller number I don't recognize. Strange. Hanako maybe? Shrugging, I press the button to answer the call and bring the phone to my ear. Hello? Is Hanako speaking? Yeah, it's definitely Hanako, right? The sound of a couple of short breaths can be heard, but no actual speech is forthcoming. Hello? Isao? It's Hanako. Her voice is really easy to place, even if I never heard it over a phone. Hanako, sorry, I wasn't expecting you to call. What's up? If you're not busy, I was wondering if you would like to Yes, meet up. Yeah, I mean, she sounds really wound up about this. I can hear muffled voices in the background, and it's about time for afternoon tea, so I guess she wants me to meet her at the Shanghai or something. So I'm fine. Are you at the Shanghai? I'm in the city. Hanako is here? Alone? That's a surprise. It's little wonder she's like this, if she's surrounded by people and entirely by herself. That works out well. I'm just wandering around there now. Where are you? Hanako manages to stammer out a street name, address, and basic directions. Luckily, it's not too far. I agree to see her soon before hanging up. I look up to the sky and see... Wait, the summer heat is beating down. This is the first time Hanako asked for us to do something together, beyond expectation, beyond a simple board game. And the first time, at least since I've known her, that she's come to the city by herself. Maybe this means Lily was right. By the time I managed to stagger up to the cafe where Hanako is, I started to wheeze again. I'm sweating so much that I feel like a melting popsicle. I can barely hold the bag in my hand. I need to sit down. Badly. The tables outside are all occupied by busily chatting couples and girls gossiping between themselves. The contrast between the different age groups and fashion of the people here and the people from the town near Yamaku is striking. I scan over the people sitting at the tables, but I can't see Hanako. She did say she was sitting outside, so I must be missing her. Not difficult given how small she usually tries to make her presence. I look around again, more slowly this time, taking care to see if I can find Hanako's hat. Ah yeah, she wears a hat! It's pretty distinctive and I'd be very surprised if she wasn't wearing it. There she is! Sure enough, her head is kept low and the table she's sitting at is right beside the building in an inconspicuous corner. I walk up to where she is and make sure that I have her attention before I sit, lest I give her a scare. She notices me and gives a small wave as I arrive at her table. Aww, her casual look is so adorable. Are you feeling okay? I try my best to laugh it off, but doing so just makes me more out of breath. I'm not very fit those days, don't mind me. Hanako nods, but still looks a bit put off. Now that I can get a good look at her face, something about her seems a bit different. I'm not sure if my eyes are playing tricks on me, but... she looks kind of nice. Huh? Doesn't she? Her eyes move upwards to look at me, before quickly flicking down again. I begin to think this is going to be a rather quiet meeting, but a waitress thankfully arrives and sets down a cup of tea in front of Hanako. Hanako almost automatically turns slightly away and lowers the side of her head. It's an amazingly practiced motion and does a good job of its intended purpose, hiding a scarce from someone who's leaning in close. Her right arm is still laying on the table though, with the scarring on the back of her hand quite visible. It catches the waitress' eye, and I move to quickly distract her. Excuse me, can I place an order? The waitress nods and gives me a couple of seconds to look at the menu. Can I have a mango smoothie? Sounds pretty nice. Yeah, I actually like... I enjoy tropical fruit. I don't drink it often, but I really like the taste. She gives a nod before almost enthusiastically bouncing inside. Everything is so different in the city, in more ways than one. Hanako looks back up towards me and adjusts her little hat. If she noticed the waitress staring at her scarves, she doesn't show it. Not coffee? I think I'd die from this heat if I had something like coffee right now. Resting my head in my hand, I look to my quiet companion. She seems taken aback. A very unexpected reaction to my lame joke. An unwelcome emotion bubbles up inside me as I realize a reason why. Unlike most Yamaku, indeed, unlike anyone here that I'm aware of, my condition goes beyond expectation, beyond limiting the activities I can do. Dying from heat. He cannot literally die from heat though, but I would never die of heat. Ah, not a joke you want to crack with Hanako. Okay, yeah, now I realize why it's not the best joke. Good point. To be more precise, it's breaching those limits. No, breaching those limits could have much more grave consequences. Thankfully, it's something that's very rarely come up since I entered Yamaku. I thought that it was so rare that Hanako and Lily might not think of it at all. It turns out that I was wrong. Hanako silently drinks her tea, while I wait for my drink, confirming that it's the right temperature with a small sip before she begins in earnest. I feel guilty for being the cause of an uncomfortable silence, since in the past I've been kind of hard on Hanako for those. Eventually, the same waitress as before bounces up, handing me my drink. I gather change from my pocket and drop it into her waiting hand, before she goes off to attend to another customer. My eyes linger on her as she walks away. Do you think she looks pretty? I don't know, she doesn't have a portrait, but definitely we have a pretty one in front of us. Hanako is following my gaze, her eyes taking in the waitress that served us. I can feel my blood slowly going to my cheeks as I rest my smoothie back on the table. Nah, I can't really say that I'm really into that look. She just looked like an old friend I knew before my heart attack. Did you have many friends? I had a few at my previous school, though I wouldn't say a lot. Then 4 of us just hang around together after school and stuff. Do you still talk to them? No, we gradually lost contact while I was stuck in the hospital. You're not saddened by that? Or angry? Hanako looks genuinely surprised. I guess that's the right reaction. Well, life did move on for them while I was stuck in the ward. I was pretty sore about it at the time, but now it's just a bunch of nice memories. Besides, once I came to Yamaku, I found new friends as well. That's quite a whitewash of what my feelings were back then. I went through some dark times during my stay at the hospital, and I'm really glad that Hanako and Lily were around to help me after I left it. Hanako blushes as we both get down to enjoy our drinks. She seems to have calmed down since I arrived, and I started to feel a little better now that I've had the chance to rest a bit. So, this is going to be a nice outing already. Even if she's calmer than before, though, she's still fidgeting a bit. She runs her hand down one of her bangs, as I try to think of something to say. Ah, that's right, I was going to ask. Hanako tilts her head quizzically. I didn't know you had a mobile phone. How did you get my number? Lily gave it to me. I should have guessed. You know, you could have asked. I'd have given it to you. Want to exchange email addresses? Yeah, felt a little weird because we don't share email addresses since 2006, 2006. I don't know how to say the right year. Okay. It's surprisingly the same model as mine. Pink though. Nice phone. She looks to me with a curious expression, before noticing my phone and giggling. I just got an awful thought. Imagine her heart break when her phone, she forgets her phone near like the oven, and even the phone gets burned, and now she will have a matching phone. I'm sorry for thinking that. Well, actually, I think it's normal for people to have intrusive thoughts like this, but maybe it's my problem to tell it aloud. Probably. She looks to me with a curious expression, before noticing my phone and giggling. It's one of the few very times I've seen Hanako let her guard down enough to do such a thing. I didn't pick it up myself, though. Oh? It was a present from Lily. I never really needed a phone. I couldn't afford one. She bought me one for Christmas, though, saying that we could use it to keep in touch. They see each other basically every day anyway, both in and out of school. Then again, Lily does have her class representation duties and other friends that she talks with. It would probably help for situations like this, though. When she's gone away for a while. Lily is a very special person to you, right? She is. I love her very much. No! We lost! We lost! She's in love with Lily! Ah! As a mother, right? As a mother. Hanako looks down and smiles as she thinks of her. None of my friendships were as deep as theirs, and I have to admit to myself that I'm a little jealous of their relationship. We tell each other our email addresses and thumb them into our respective phones, and I get Hanako's number from earlier and put it into my contact list. And 1,000 fanfics were born with that line. I think they could have already born from what we've seen so far, but yeah, I feel like that one definitely did something extra. Done. That makes 3 now. Ah, she's collecting email addresses. Lily, me, and Wu. Akira, maybe? 3? Aha! I knew it. Lily, Akira, and you. Oh, Akira. She's an interesting person, right? She's also really nice, though. Her suit makes her look a bit cool. Aww. I'm a little surprised you know each other well. What with her job taking up so much of her time. Hanako looks down a little and takes another sip of her drink. If I wasn't looking intently at her face, I'd miss the small smile perched on it. I guess when she knows so few people, those she knows must mean a lot to her. Well, it's like slicing a cake, right? If you have a lot of friends, you slice a cake a lot of times. So you have a lot of pieces of the cake, but they are all very small. That means you can't give all the attention to every friend, or you don't think that much to every of your friends. If you have just a few friends, you can slice the pie in very, very bigger amounts, because you treasure more the few friends you have. That's why I have no friends. That's why I can have the pie all for myself. No, I'm kidding. I have them. Not a lot. Hello, Danix. Welcome, it's going. Cakes everywhere. Beware though. They might be a lie. How many friends do you have? Me, about 9 or 10. Where the previous were forgotten. I hesitate to go into them for fear of rubbing in the fact that Hanako doesn't have parents. Or apparently even close relatives. Oh, come on, family doesn't count as friends. 2 of those are Shizune and Misha too, which is another can of worms. Wait. What does it mean exactly, can of worms? Another can of worms. Creating a new complex? Oh wait. No, another can of worms. Creating a new complex or troublesome situation. Ah, okay, it's another situation on its own. It's another thing on its own. Good to know. I imagine that Lily would have more than both of us put together, probably. Hanako gives a childish giggle, and I can't help smiling. It's a good feeling that she's gotten this comfortable around me. At times I like this. I feel like I'm getting close to talking to her true self. Do you mind if I ask something that I've been wondering? Hanako shakes her head and she takes a last sip of her tea, finishing it off. You don't seem very jealous of Lily having a lot of friends. Don't you have to make some friends for yourself, or get to know some of hers? I'm not jealous, I don't like people, so I don't mind not having many friends. Ah, that's really not the answer I was expecting. She doesn't look fearful or sad as she says this, but rather quite serious. Hanako rubs her arm awkwardly, having taken my quietness as a reason to continue. I'm not really sure what I should say, so I end up simply giving her my attention in silence. No, Hanako! In middle school I got bullied. A lot. I was called names. I got excluded from work groups and sport teams. There were worse things too. Okay, Hanako. I need names. I need names, Hanako. The idol justice will arrive. I promise. Actually, let's avoid manslaughter, okay? At least she's very lucky she found the right school for her. But they will resurrect with the next blood moon. Well, you can never defeat bullying. I see, unfortunate. I can make them suffer though. That's what made you not like other people. She shakes her head. That was elementary school. I feel bad for bringing this up now. Adults have enough problems dealing with Hanako's scarring. Children would be all the worse. I assume that the way she tried to make her presence not felt was just to avoid people staring at her, or because she was afraid of them. Certainly not because she genuinely didn't want to interact with them in the first place at all. I noticed the condensation for my neglected smoothie forming a little puddle around the bottom of the cup. So I take the opportunity to finish it off. As I drink, she begins to fiddle with her phone. Looks like she's remembered the people around her again, and began to tense up. It isn't exactly a cheap phone. I had to save up for quite a while to afford one when I got mine. If Lily went to a private school, she probably wouldn't have had too much trouble getting one for a present though. Yeah, for how much she paid for a doll? Watching her fiddle with it gives me an idea. Hanako, wait for me. I'll be right back. I put the now empty cup down, slip my phone into my pocket and begin to move off, carefully stepping around the bag I'd placed beside my feet. Thankfully, sitting around while talking to Hanako has helped me feel a lot better than before. Wait, what? Where are you going? Just stay here. I'll be back in a bit. Where did you go? What did you do? As much as they've liked to have jogged back, I know full well that I couldn't. I end up walking back to the cafe, a little blue bag in my right hand. Hanako notices me quickly, looking about as confused as she did when I left. I deposit the diminutive bag in front of her and sit back down. Is this... It's for you, you can open it. But... Go on. Ah, it's a birth... It's an... No, wait, we already gave her the birthday gift, right? She looks very unsure about it, but eventually gives in, slowly opens the bag and picks its content out. Ah, it's a cell phone strap, right, yeah! A silver chain phone strap dangles from the fingers, ending in a delicate flower. It isn't exactly a masterwork of jewelry, but it's about as much as I could afford. Hanako's eyes light up when she looks at it. It's the kind of reaction I was hoping for. The summer sunlight glints off the silver as I twist to and fro a little. It's not too ostentatious, but still looks a little charming. I think it suits her well. Hanako lowers the phone strap to the table and looks to me once more. But it's not Christmas, not my birthday. It's fine, don't worry. I just thought it might be nice to have something to decorate your phone with. I don't have anything to give you. I don't need anything, Hanako. Your presence is enough. I told you it's fine. Friends can give things to each other like this sometimes, right? Friends. Well, at least she's happy, even if we just friend-zoned her. Hanako lowers her face so much that I can't see her expression. She eventually nods, before taking her phone and fiddling with the strap to attach it properly. It is! She looks to me and smiles as she holds up her phone, now adorned with a little flower. Thank you, Isao. Her smile proves infectious. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice a couple getting up and leaving. That reminds me that the bus back to the town below Yamaku will be coming soon. I guess I'd better be going if I want to catch the next bus. You coming as well? Oh, yes. She hastily nods before carefully putting her phone back into her pocket and getting out of her chair. I do the same and pick up the bag and left it beside me on the way out. We walk side by side as we make our way to the bus station, exchanging no words between us. Hanako's gaze is firmly locked ahead of her, though she looks very happy with herself. I'm not sure what I should say for herself, to her, but I'm also not sure what I need to say anything. The fact that Hanako is happy and happy because of me is enough to make the load of my arm feel light as a feather. Next day. Okay, we are slowly starting to bond a little more. I don't feel like though we surpassed the barrier. Finally reaching the classroom after the usual walk from the dormitories, I step inside. My eyes immediately turn to the third seat from the left in the back row, Hanako's seat. It's empty, and after glancing around the classroom, it looks like she isn't already here. The two girls from the newspaper club are here in the two seats to the left of Hanako's, as are Shizune and Misha, but that's about it. We exchange morning greetings before I take my seat. I have to admit that this is a bit of a relief. This gives me at least a few more minutes to think. Not that I haven't been doing so previously. Ever since our trip to town, Hanako's been on my mind. I still don't know what to make of my relationship to Hanako. I like her, I can admit that much to myself. I want to protect and shield her from the pain she feels. Same, I really don't think my feelings are just those of friendship anymore. But that said, I feel like I don't even know her. I made a move on her. No, if I made a move on her, how would she take it? Is she in the emotional state that allows her to make a reasonable decision about a relationship? How would she cope with anything that might happen afterwards? There's also a possibility that I'm just completely misinterpreting Hanako. Not a difficult thing to do with someone whose social skills seem to be underdeveloped. I hear someone walking. Hanako? The sound of footsteps comes up to the door, making me perk up. Okay, not Hanako, but still nice. Ends up being Mickey. She barely acknowledges my existence when I accidentally make eye contact with her. I am about to look away, but another person comes in not long after she takes her seat. Hanako! I feel myself freeze as I see Hanako enter. This is interaction and reaction, but I have no idea about how I should act or what I should say to her. For a moment, our eyes meet. And then, just as quickly, she looks away and moves to her seat without saying a single word. Ah, that's it, huh? We don't say anything. Oh. As is now usual for the period following classes, my face is buried deep in a book that I find truly interesting. Studying is not something that comes naturally to me. I didn't study a lot before coming to Yamaku, and until now I largely managed to coast through on talent alone. Coast through, maybe? Like, survive. Progress or succeed without any effort or difficulty. Ah, okay, that's cool. That's like the first half of my university. In the first half of university, I literally coasted through. In the second half, everything went downhill. But that's another story. I want to protect her, because that worked out so well with Amy. Wait, I forgot what happened. Ah, it's a long time. Yeah, it's the first route. But yeah, I remember she was very proud. But I don't remember any moment in particular. Judging by the faces of other few students in the library, I don't think I'm alone in my distaste for this. Misery loves company, I suppose. I decided to spend lunchtime with Hanako, since we haven't had lunch together for a while now. I might as well have spent the time studying those, aside from pathetically small snippets of small talk. There was barely a word said between us. Why does she keep doing this at me? I just want to protect her, to be there for her. But every time I feel like we're coming closer, we end up further away. Are you busy? Hanako? My head whips around in surprise, causing her to retreat in fright. That was bad timing. If I hadn't been thinking about her at this very moment, I probably wouldn't have been nearly so startled. Sorry, you just startled me. I find myself staring at her longer than I should. So I go back to the text lying on the table in front of me. I feel more like I'm just staring at the words, rather than actually reading. Yeah, I know. Hanako appears if you say her name 3 times. Like Beetlejuice. Hanako. Let me try, Hanako. Well, it's a similar thing like in streamings, or at least before, when I was talking about Teiya or Lolo games in general, Lolo would appear out of nowhere in chat. I wonder if that's the case again. I get the feeling Hanako can notice this as well, so I sigh and close the book. What's up? I was just wondering what you were reading. She looks a little downcast after my reaction to see her. Giving up on the prospect of getting any more work done, I get up and return the book to its place on a nearby shelf. Just an English textbook. Has it helped? It helped me realize that I don't like English, yeah. Oh yeah, because they are Japanese, even if they talk in English for the game. Yeah, it's a little confusing because some visual novels change the entire language altogether, others maintain it only partially. But here the English is kinda relevant because it's the language of where Lily is going. Usually in other games, if it's not relevant, it's another language, right? Well, it depends. I don't know, actually. Hanako gives a small giggle. I may muse on the strange state of our friendship, but I do know that such little gestures are things that I wouldn't see were I not at least some distance closer to her than when we first met. I looked at her for a moment, thinking about how I do and don't know about her. It's a slightly depressing topic. Is something wrong? I want to know about her. Maybe I should stop being so evasive about it. Talking with Lily as an equal rather than being constantly in fear of causing her to become upset worked fine, so I should just try a straightforward approach with Hanako as well. Hey Hanako, do you mind if I ask you a question? I don't mind. I want to know what your life was like. Your life before coming to Yamaku. She hesitates. I briefly consider backing off, but she seems to be taking the question quite seriously. I sit and watch her, silently letting her take her time. She's not making eye contact with me, and looks almost as if she's arguing with herself into letting herself open up to me more. Her answer finally comes in a stiff, almost reluctant nod. She looks far more tense than she did before I asked. Okay, but in return you have to tell me about your life as well. Ah yeah, I take the deal anytime. I nod and follow her as she begins to walk out the library so we can talk. By now, most of the students have already left the main building. So, apart from a few people hovering about around club rooms, the hallways are largely empty. I guess we start with coming to Yamaku. Let's see. I was in the hospital when my parents first told me about Yamaku Academy. The doctor told me I shouldn't go to my old school anymore. My parents agreed and persuaded me to apply to Yamaku, even though it would mean living away from them for the first time. It must have been hard for you. Well, I have to admit it was. My parents both work long hours and full time. Having to live reasonably independently wasn't anything new to me. It was the fact that I was going to school for disabled students that it hit hard, I think. And you? A small group of chatting girls passes up as we near the stairs, with Hanako pressing herself tightly to my side until we reach the ground floor. She doesn't usually come this close while just walking in the school, so I'm left a little put off. The staff at the orphanage offered me some options on what I could do. Middle school hadn't been good, so I thought that Yamaku might be better. It was isolated, and I thought it might be easier to get by here, with most of the others being disabled. It's pretty ironic the reason Hanako looked forward to Yamaku are the exact reason I hated the idea. To me, it felt like I was being shunted. Wait, I know Shan. Shan is, well, apart... Sean! No, that's Sean. Sean is, like, being ridiculized, right? Felt like I was being shunted somewhere away from society and everyone I knew. To Hanako, that was probably an inviting prospect. What was life like at the orphanage? It was okay. The staff there was nice, and they took care of us. The children there didn't talk to me much, but I didn't really want to talk with them either, so I don't mind. The orphanage had a little library. I started to read to pass the time. The staff didn't mind it, because it made me easier to handle than many of the other children. You didn't make friends here? No, I think my life was on hold during that time. I knew that, but I didn't mind. To think her life was on hold for all that time, though. Depending on when the fire happened, that was a huge chunk of her life. No parents, no friends, apparently no relatives. Zero interactions. Maybe with the staff of the orphanage, but not as a friend. So she's really lacking any social interaction. God bless Lily for helping her. We walk to the door into the courtyard. I expect to need to avert my eyes from the sun, but by now it's well into sunset. Hanako's eyes keep flicking to me. I look away from her a bit. What was it like in the hospital? I quickly clear my thoughts and try to refocus them. I like how they're exchanging questions. We asked how it is in the orphanage and she asked how it was in the hospital. I know that I have to tell her. We're close enough for her to feel comfortable telling me this. It's only fair I reciprocate. It was okay at times, but others it was pretty bad. At the beginning everyone sent their sympathies and came to visit often. It was like breaking an arm or something. Meeting all my friends was one of the good times. Yeah, Hanako came in often as well. More often than anyone else. But there were bad times too. When my friends slowly stopped visiting, I began to realize how grave my situation was. It reminded me that it wasn't just a broken limb, but that I was now a different person than before. Even the times Hanako would spend time with me, become Tortorus. By the end, we were reduced to silence, where before, she'd be talking constantly. Well, maybe it's for the better she stops talking. If she talks all the time. But that's how Hanako always was. She may have been a fragile person, but she would talk constantly to try and hide that fact. Not about anything in particular, just talk. I think the three lowest points would have... that is how. I think the three lowest points would have been when my parents told me I wouldn't be going to my old school anymore. My birthday passing while in the hospital and when Hanako left for the last time. We leave the school building behind us as we begin to follow the main path through the gardens. There may have been the odd bystanders in the school buildings, but outside we are practically alone. What was your middle school like? I liked it. I grew up in a really metropolitan area, and the middle school was nearby, so it was pretty crowded. I didn't mind it, probably because I'm used to being in crowds. I got good grades, I played soccer with my friends, I spent a fair bit of time hanging with friends after school as well. Did get teased a bit over my hair though. Your hair? I grimaced a little as I put a hand over my hair to cover it. I'd keep getting tufts and strands that refused to flatten or stay. And my mother wouldn't let me just get my hair shaved. I had the habit of popping out, no matter how much I tried to brush it down. Well, of course, you're the anime protagonist. You have to have a rebellious piece of hair. Like, it's called the Aoj. It still does a little. I was worried I would get that reply. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I give a mild laugh and wave it off. It's fine, I know it does. It feels strange to have someone act so interested in my past. If it were anyone else, I'd think they were just acting polite. But that's something I really don't think Hanako would do. Or if she did, she'd do it so badly that it would be so obvious. I think we are gonna stop after this day. We only streamed 2 hours again, but I'm talking a lot. There are a number of girls in the common room on the ground floor, and Hanako presses herself to my side once more as we pass them. I expect her to break off, but instead she continues to cling on to me as we walk towards the stairway. Something about the way she's holding on to me feels different from the usual. Oh no. Suddenly 18 plus incoming. I am left deep in thought as we walk up the stairs and down the hallway. It's only when we stop that I look up and realize that I've been following her without question. Why did we come to your dormitory room? She looks straight at the door, without so much as a glance in my direction. Hanako? She moves to answer, but stops herself. Instead, she silently breaks from my side, opens the door and steps inside. I look up and down the hallway, a bit lost as to exactly what I should do. Shrugging, I decide to follow her since I don't have any reason to do otherwise. What are we going to do on the bed, Hanako? Oh no. Honestly, I don't see how any 18 plus scene would happen with Hanako because she definitely needs to open way more for that, right? Hanako stands in the middle of her room and looks straight at me. I think it would be better if there were no H scenes with Hanako, honestly. Because it fits way better the story for her. That's depends. Maybe could be at the end where she shows an evolution, but for now I'm not seeing it. For now I'm not seeing it going in that direction. Well, we're seeing her growing a little, but needs to grow way more for that, in my opinion. Hanako stands in the middle of her room and looks straight at me. It's unnerving when she does this, as it's such an unusual action for her. I open my mouth to speak, but she preempts me. Could you close and lock the door? Hanako, what are you about to do? Wait. Okay, never mind. Maybe it's not a... Okay, wait. It's not intercourse. I think it's just she's showing her body to show us her scars. Would make a lot of sense because that's not a straight... it's not a thing that the girls did. This girl does something more fitting by still having the fan service, we're gonna call it. Hanako's hand reaches for her chest, grabbing her blouse at her heart. I turn and lock the door shut, then freeze. The atmosphere is beginning to feel quite strange. This feeling is only made more profound when I hear the curtains being pulled behind me. It's going to be night soon. We're a guy and a girl in a bedroom. She's closing the curtain. I'm shutting and locking the door. She can't really have that in mind, can she? I gulp and turn around very, very slowly. Hanako is in the center of the room, but hasn't turned back to face me. You told me about your past, so I have to tell you mine. She takes a deep, shuddering breath and pauses for a number of seconds. Her hands move to her ribbon and begins to tug, all but confirming my thoughts. Hanako, please don't say anything. Yeah, it's already embarrassing for her as it is. I obediently stay hushed as she slips off her ribbon and continues to unbutton her blouse, before working the clip on her bra. The process is slow. Perhaps it just feels slow because of what she's doing. I'm not sure. Frozen to the spot, all I can do is watch as Hanako, hands trembling, unclips her skirt and lets it drop on the ground. And... safe, surprisingly safe. Finally, she takes her blouse in her hands and draws it off, her bra falling from her shoulders. And so Hanako stands in the middle of the room, all but bared, save for her stockings and underwear. Which are black, huh? This is me. All of me. I think it's still safe. Yeah, okay. Barely. My eyes are immediately drawn to the scarring on her back. The skin on her right side is of similar texture to that of her face, but it's also stretched, taut, and covering a much larger area. The scarring is by far the worst on the shoulder, buttock and thigh. Just as my heart attack refined my life. This is the event that defined Hanako. If I'd seen this when I first met her, I'd then be shocked. Not only at the sight, but also the idea that something like this was sort of... I'm talking, sometimes I feel like the urge of tearing up. Something like this was survivable. But after having hard time to get used to the idea, and after seeing the scars on her face, hands and collar, my reaction is more measured. My reaction right now is not due to the scarring, but to her body. The fire happened when I was 8 years old. It was night, and we were sleeping when it started. Hanako's voice trembles, the shaking of her blues giving away the fact that her hands are doing just the same. I curled up in a ball when the fire swept over me. My mother tried to shield me. That's the only reason I lived. Come on, I'm about to cry. Hanako's eyes begin to moisten, her voice cracking under the combined pressure of exposing herself to me like this, and reliving those painful memories from so long ago. I want to say something, anything, to make her feel better. I can't though. I feel completely useless when faced with a situation like this. She's forcing herself to come so close. Yet, it's at times like this that I feel most distant to her. I'm sorry for making you see this. No, actually, it's not this, okay. In real life, okay, this is a drawing, so it's not as disgusting as it would be in real life. In real life, though, I still wouldn't want her to feel sorry because it's a part of her. How to say? I would understand her showing this. I wouldn't be upset at all. There's no point in denying the obvious. I think what I should say now, and what Hanako wants me to say now, is the truth. What I genuinely, honestly believe. It doesn't matter. You're a wonderful person, Hanako. Your body doesn't change that. She looks at me for a long time, her breathing uneven as she tries to remain steady amidst the emotions we are both feeling. It feels less like she's looking at me than she's looking through me. I slowly walk towards her and gently place my hand on her shoulders as she lets go of her blues. She gaps a little, not in fright but in a simple startlement. Being so close to her causes my mind to become a jumble of feelings. The scarring of her shoulder, plain to see and leather-like to the touch, conflicts strangely with her otherwise soft skin and pilky dark hair. Silky. Hanako is a girl with all that entails. She's taller than usual for a woman, but still has curves in all the right places. Is it the right moment, Isao? The nape of her neck, just visible thanks to her hair slung over her shoulder, is alluring. Oh, well, I admire your concentration. She's naked and you're watching the neck. He has his priorities, I see. I know I'm not pretty, like Lily. You're cute, it's a different thing. I just wanted you to see me. The real me. This is not the real you. The real you is the one we talk about. Wait, right? Yeah, I've already seen the real you though. You didn't need to take off your clothes for that, Isao Chad. And now it's time to censor. Let's see. We can do... No. We can put it here though. Where's the audio here? Wait, what is the... this one. Let's see. We can have this, okay. Oh, you know what? We can move Rhea. Just a little. Okay. Kinda covering the text is kinda covering though. So we can also do this. Okay. You can move Rhea a little higher though. Okay. Her lips are open, just a little. She lets out a sharp breath as, without thinking, I breathlessly lean forward and press my lips to her. Okay, I think since I have the full vision, I have to say two things. First, she's not flat. That's surprising. Second, the burns are not on the front of her body. Or at least, it's only on the side. So I'm surprised. I would say she has more than Lily, even. She lets out a sharp breath as, without thinking, I breathlessly lean forward and press my lips to her. Is now consent? Well, okay, consent. She already stripped herself, I don't know how much consent you need. Though I think we should just be safe, just in case, right? Just in case. Because she didn't remove the dresses for this, she did it to show the scars. Oh well. The kiss only lasts for a fleeting moment, before our faces part. Our breathing quick and nervous. The feeling of Hanako's mouth lingers, and her eyes remain locked to mine. She gets away a little, is it fine? Yeah, it is. It's me. You know what? We can also do this. Okay, we can have the text. I'm sorry, Rhea, I'm removing you up and down. Trembling a little myself, I removed my tie and began undoing the buttons on my shirt. Hanako remains standing where she is, looking at the ground in front of her rather than watching me undress. On the one hand, I'm thankful for that. I've always been somewhat self-conscious of my body, but my scaring has made that quite a lot worse. On the other though, this atmosphere feels very strange. My shirt falls to the floor in a heap, as untidy and crumpled as Hanako's blouse and skirt. Hanako's entire body visibly flinches at the sound of the zipper of my trousers being pulled down. Wait, maybe, you know what? Let me fix what we are showing of Rhea. I think the eyes are the perfect thing. Yeah, okay. Now it's perfect. My trousers join my shirt on Hanako floor next to the bed, as do my socks in short measure. I hesitate before taking off my boxers, and end up leaving them on. They represented the last hurdle I don't think I can overcome quite yet. Sheer embarrassment stops me, along with not wanting Hanako getting even more worked up. My unease about the situation has also left me needing my own stimulation. Hanako. She gives a nod without so much as glancing at me, and makes her way to the bed as I do. She walks as if her legs were wooden sticks. I'd find it amusing if I weren't doing exactly the same thing. I take the initiative, turning around and sitting on the side of the bed. I look to her face to invite her to take a seat either next to me or in front of me, but end up awkwardly looking down to stop myself for staring at her body. Yeah, definitely let's hide this. So let's restore Rhea for a moment. Okay. Maybe we can at least have a background. Let's see. Kinda, no. Let me center a little better. Well, I don't really have ability to show anything. Okay, so you know what about the thing I told about before that that Hanako had more than Lily? Well, he's always now checking it. He's always checking. He's checking the goods. Oh well. Nevertheless, she takes her cue and reluctantly sits between my legs. As she does, a rush of sensation hits me all at once. Though you need to see her face. Because that's adorable. Here. She's still a little shy. We're keeping Rhea though. As she does, a rush of sensation hits me all at once. The feeling of her behind... The feeling of her... Okay, we need to find a metaphor here. Where should we find a metaphor? RPG battles, I think is... I am out of ideas today. The feeling of her lower armor against my lower armor is the most obvious, but her scent is just as strong. She's worked up a slight sweat already from her nervousness, and the smell and feeling of her hair is washed across my face. I try to put on a smile to try and make the situation a bit more comfortable for her, but it feels really stirred. Deciding to try and move things along, one hand finds itself, a hand randomly, by pure chance, ends on her upper armor. Yeah, I get it. Oops, a mistake. Well, consensual, I know, but still, it says, one hand finds itself there, as if it's not your doing, is how. As the other hand rests on her leg. Her lips pulse tightly together as she tries, unsuccessfully, to suppress a squeal of surprise at the action. You should have at least told her, hello Danix, we are having something we shouldn't have on Twitch. Oh well, at right time, I see. Sorry, didn't mean to startle you. Hanako takes a breath and shakes her head as her only reply. A gulp comes from deep in my throat, before beginning to move my hand around. Feeling and massaging the armor, because I need to check if the stats are alright. That's what he's doing. He's checking the armor and see if they need to upgrade it or not. Though I would say Hanako armor has pretty good stat. It feels really nice, giving way underneath my palm with just a little firmness. For a while, I don't think it's helping her to get into the mood at all, but slowly her eyelids begin to lower, her breathing slows to a more rhythmic pattern, and her body begins to relax into mine. It's newly satisfying to be able to make Hanako feel like this. Definitely better than the feeling of her... Better than the feeling of her body alone. Ah, okay. Never mind. I can sense a little hard... a bump brushing against my fingers. That wasn't here before. Let me guess. A bump on the finger. Maybe, yeah. Maybe I know what it is. I slowly move my hand downwards to check the other armor, because we need to be prepared for the boss fight, right? Right. Try not to surprise her too much. She gives no protest, and my fingers soon begin to move up and down to check the stats of of the lower armor, because usually the upper armor is for defense and magic defense. The lower armor is for resistance from the buffs and speed, right? So we need to check in different ways. Her body is pressed against mine by now, a thin sheen of sweat on both of us. She feels warm, and all of this has more than served to make me happy, as well as her. Hanako gives a small gasp, my fingers pressing a little harder to check better every position in the slots of the armor, and moving a little faster, almost instinctively. The girl in front of me, the girl pressing against me. I want her. All of her. I stop moving my fingers. I stop checking the armor, making Hanako give a long breath of relief from the feelings welling up inside of her. Her face looking to mine a little, silent but expectant. All I do is nod. I don't know which one of us is more apprehensive right now. Oh, we're back. Well, I think she's still not dressed, but we can turn back for a while. Is it fine? Let's go. I push myself back onto the bed, extricating myself from Hanako with a certain amount of reluctance. For her part, she slides back and lies down with her head on her pillow, breathing heavily all the while. Just in case... No, never mind. Oh, damn, this is even more. Oh, wow, this is getting more. Wait. Okay, how to describe this? Let's just say, I don't know. Let's just say we are, there is a flaw in the armor, in the lower armor, and there's, let's say there is an extra slot to put equipment. There is an extra slot to put some equipment. That's good, since then we get more prepared for the boss fight, right? If you know what I mean. I don't think I can even have much in the background here, but let's see. I lost... Let's see, definitely I can... Let me maneuver Ray a little. Okay. I need to cover a lot. A lot. And yeah, it's Hanako laying down. Nothing weird, just Hanako laying down. Also, if you are curious, the scars go down up until the end of the cheek. So they go even in a lot of parts. At least the important part is scar-free. So the armor at least is still sound. The armor still works. Hanako lying in front of me. Her armor darkened, her chest heaving, her face flashed, and her eyes looking into mine. Her scars just make her look all the more unique. I'm left without words that she'd allow me to see her like this. I bring myself closer to her, closing my hand on her waist. I wait for her to nod before taking a delicate hold of her stockings, taking them up as gently as I can manage. I don't think I can get them off without tearing them, so I end up leaving them on her legs. Hanako lies practically unequipped on the bed. Her most weak spots, she's probably weak to fire, right? Now, plain to see. bringing my fingers to prepare to equip the final item to the equipment. Oh, come on, why is it so hard to, to metaphorize? I check the area a little more. Explosions. It's hard, okay? It's hard. Causing her breath to catch. She should be okay if she's this happy. So I open my armor and move myself up a little on the bed. Emotional explosions. The explosion will come right after. Wait. You'll see the true explosion. Hanako's entire body tenses as I bring myself closer to her. Her eyes widening. She's scared? I take a long breath before realizing something I should have thought of before. I close my eye. Something you should have thought of before? What? Protection. Like the magic protection and physical protection. It's important in battles, I know. I close my eyes and concentrate deeply. My heart thumps. Okay, yeah, I need to be sure that his heart is fine. Because too much activity, any activity, could be fatal. As I focus my mind on the beating. It's faster than usual, of course, but the beat is regular. I think. I can keep it in check if I take this slowly. Are you okay? I open my eyes and look at her. I guess that must have looked pretty worrying to someone else watching me. I'm okay, I was just making sure that it was. She hesitates a little before nodding. She looks a little less afraid than before. So maybe showing her that I was also worried helped reassure her. I lean over her and press my lips to her. The tongues tentatively touching. I can feel her body becoming less tense under mine. So it's getting both of us in the right mood. Then I remember something and retract. I lean over to the side of the bed to where my trousers are, my hand reaching for the back pocket. I feel around, blind for a few seconds, until a little foil square brushes underneath my fingertip. Why did you have a square? I quickly pull it out and write myself on the bed. The square bed? What is it? The phone keychain, maybe? It's for the phone? I don't think it matters in this situation, right? Sitting back from Hanako a little and fiddling with the packet. Ah, yeah, it's a magical protection. Makes sense. After all, we are gonna fight a very powerful mage, so we need any sort of magical protection we need. It takes a while for everything to go correctly, but eventually it covers what it should. Fitting snugly. My slight confusion at my first time trying to work a magical protection seems to have amused her a little, and as I position myself over her, we share a small nervous laugh. Now though, I need to try and concentrate, and cast the protection spell, yeah. How was it? Shell, right, it was called Shell. I look down and try to get my knees and waist in what I think are the right places, it doesn't know, and take my sword, in my hand, in my slightly shaking hand. Hanako's face is looking at mine, but her eyes are pointing down at where the sword meets the target. With a short breath, I position the head and push the sword forward. Wait, it actually shows it. Ah, okay. In one hit, I push the sword full inside the evil mage we are fighting finally. The rush of sensations and emotions fills my head. And Hanako yelps in pain. Yeah, because the mage hit her before. That's why we got a magical protection. Looking at her face makes me feel uneasy. I mistakenly hit the mage too hard and too fast, and caused them to pain the necessary. Neither of us knows what we are doing. And at least the last thing I wanted was to hurt her. Hanako opens her eyes and looks towards me. She must have seen how troubled I look, and she tries her best to put on a happy face. It's not very convincing at all. I look down and begin slowly to move the sword again, after giving the mage a few moments to recover some health, because this boss is evil. She also recovers some health. Yeah, now Hanako is the mage, why not? Now we fight Hanako, the fire mage, the fire wizard, the fire witch. The moment feels really natural, and I can feel muscles moving all over my body that I haven't felt moving in this way before. I know I'm putting stress on my heart that I probably shouldn't as well, and with every movement I keep track of my heartbeat. The feeling of the sword piercing the evil witch is soft and warm, and if not for the magical protection we casted before, I doubt I'd be able to survive, to last long. And so her gasps and constant movement don't help at all either. For Hanako's part, the look of pain doesn't really seem to be dissipating as I'd hoped. Her scar tissue caused one side of her body to move a little differently from the other, and strands of her hair are by now sticking to her face. I put my arms around her body and lift her up a little. After some squirming for the both of us, we try to position ourselves differently to reduce the damage we take, minimize her pain. With my hands holding her legs, both of us are moving in measured movements, like to study each other, like when we are in a fight. I'm trying to explain everything, okay? This needs to be safe for the standards. The smell of Hanako fills my senses. The smell of Hanako, what? Fills my senses. And from the position, I'm not stressing my body quite as much. My sense of time seems distorted, and I feel like I'm starting to get faint from hyperventilating. You're probably on low health, or low mana, or both. I want Hanako to be happy, though, and I can't stop now that we've reached this point. Yeah, we can't run mid-battle, right? A new wave of happiness suddenly begins to wash over me. My feelings are beginning to well up. I don't think I can control them anymore. I speed up. Faster attacks, concentrating less and less on pacing myself. Every time feels like I found a rhythm. We lose it on our movements. From the sound she's making, I think Hanako is taking more damage from this. Hanako doesn't like taking this much damage from the sword. And I don't think I'm going to be able to survive much longer either. I turn and lay her back down on the bed. Both of us are on the ground because we are fighting in a cave. I don't know where we fight. In a temple. We fight in a temple, okay. Both of us well beyond the point of doing anything but finishing the battle. One hit after another, I begin to feel that point coming. I see her health bar going lower. Frantically tensing myself to try and resist for as long as I can. Hanako! Die! Doesn't say die. Hanako gives a small shriek as my mind blanks. My waist hits hers with a fair amount of force. As I hit the final weak spot, and I can feel myself twitching. My sword twitching, okay. Her body twists and turns on my sword, only heightening the fanfare music because we won, right? And there's the white screen. And then, after a couple of seconds, the battle ends. Ta 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 ta. We won! The sound of Hanako breathing in my ears, almost painfully loudly. Hanako holds an arm over her face, her mouth open and gulping for air. As I hold myself over her, suddenly my arms Before turning back, I want to check if everything is fine. In the meantime, we can sheath our sword. Well, might be a little cringe using the sword, but honestly, I think it helps distracting from what we are doing. Okay. Metaphor is over, maybe. Maybe we can turn back. For a little at least. For a little. As I hold myself over her, suddenly my arms almost give way and my vision distorts, as if someone grabbed it and pulled sideways. I let myself fall sideways, onto the bed beside the panting Hanako, for fear of falling into her instead. We both lie beside each other, pressed against one another in order to fit on a bed made for a single person. My eyes try to focus on the ceiling, to not much success. Pulling a blanket over us to stave off the cold is all I can do. The only sound in the room is that of our breathing. The sweat that I accumulated on my body feels uncomfortable. We are both physically and emotionally exhausted, and a complete mess all over. Oh, please, my heart resist a little more longer. My vision slowly begins to return to normal, as I continue to stare at the ceiling, but my limbs still feel like jelly. I try to concentrate on my chest and find its beat irregular and mildly painful. This is a dangerous time. I have to think this through and not panic, lest I make my situation any worse. With a huge effort, I take control of my erratic breathing, forcing myself to make long, deep breaths. I count half a dozen before I start to feel physically calm again, and press my hand to my chest to assure myself. My heartbeat is back to normal. I'm okay. Aww, and here we are. I turn my face. Honestly, Hanako looks way better when she's dressed. Way better. And not because of the scars, just because of... But for the character. She... Just not having those kinda mixed two things that shouldn't be mixed. I turn my face toward Hanako's, who's already looking at me. Her expression looks pretty dazed, but underneath that, there's definitely a look of concern. She's realized what happened. I'm okay. Everything is back to normal. I find myself barely able to get the words out between breaths. I don't think the battle would tire a normal body out this much, so I have no doubt my condition is at least partially at fault. Why did my body have to do this right now? All thoughts of my heart, though, are pushed aside as I see the wide smile forming on Hanako's face. As always, I smile back without another thought. Hanako's smile has always been infectious, and its almost childlike sweetness and earnesty, something that sets her apart from anyone else I know. Right now, we don't need words. Everything we want to communicate to each other, we can share just fine without them. The end or another chapter? Okay, it's not over, okay. And this is the perfect moment to stop. Honestly though, I didn't like this scene. Because didn't fit a little forced. Or not forced, more like didn't make more sense than the others. With Amy did a lot of sense because Amy was a little perverted and they also were experimenting in both ways. Here though, doesn't really fit with Hanako character. It feels like it's there only because every girl has it, right? This one just... I think it wouldn't be a problem if there wasn't anyone... There wasn't one for Hanako. Just the thing of removing the shirt to see the scars was fine for me. The rest was... definitely not what she would do. I don't know, honestly. I don't think she cares about that, honestly, because she doesn't want friends. Well, that's not the same thing, though. I don't know. That just doesn't feel right. Well, in any case, we stop here. And supposedly it's not over. Okay. So we stop here. We are gonna continue next Sunday. And with our next streams the entire week. So, for this next week, we always have Monday and Tuesday RPG Maker games. Wednesday, we continue developing. Thursday and Saturday, we play a new game that comes out right the next week. I really want to try. It's another visual novel, which is kinda weird. But that's even an extra reason to attend, right? Right. Okay. To end the stream, we can read someone. We can go to Queen of Pockets. Okay, that's perfect. So we'll prepare a party table for the next week. So just to note down what I said. And that's everything for today. Thanks again for coming by, and we see ya whenever happens.